Hello my lovelies, welcome to this video in which I am sharing 10 things that I learned from my postpartum doula that I thought were so valuable. I have to share them with you. So in the Netherlands, it is common to have, well, actually almost every woman has postpartum doula support. So we have it for about 8 days, depending on what your birth was like. You can have it a little bit longer, or if you have had a C-section, or if you have twins, for example. Depending on what insurance you have, it's either partially covered or completely. So that's what I had as well. And we had some issues with the postpartum doula that we had intended to have, but we were blessed with Sabine. She is amazing. She showed up the next day, even though she had no clue that this is where she was going to come. She was just so fantastic. And you know, I like to research a lot of natural stuff. I like to think that I know quite a few things, but she taught me so much stuff. So I'm gonna pass on to you 10 of these things. So the first one is that, of course, you are going to be checking baby's temperature at intervals to make sure the baby is keeping warm. So what she said is that if you put the thermometer in the rectum, and when you do that, it's best to put baby on their left side and have the thermometer point towards their belly. This way you are letting the thermometer go in the direction that the rectum is. If you just have them on their back, then it will touch the sides, or if you have them on the other side, it will touch the sides. So if you put them on their left side and then point the thermometer towards their belly, that's the least uncomfortable. Now, taking their temperature is important because we want baby to be warm. And not just for the obvious reason you don't want baby to be cold, but if baby is trying to stay warm, that takes up a lot of energy, and energy that goes towards keeping warm isn't going towards growing. So keeping baby warm is super essential. Another thing that takes up a lot of energy is crying, and if baby is cold, they will cry. And changing is one of the moments that they can feel cold, and especially little girls, but boys as well, they will pee when they feel cold. So if you can prevent them from peeing, then you know you've done it right. You can research how you can do that, but the simple tips are: have a wool blanket around them when you change them, keep their socks on when you are changing them, and move fast but not too fast. Now, you may have seen that Lili Rose has been wearing a little bonnet, and this bonnet is wool and silk, and this is super important as well when you have a newborn, because what the silk does, it is protective, so it prevents them from being unnecessarily overwhelmed by everything that's going on. So it's kind of like a natural protective, but it also keeps their head warm. Of course, you already know this because newborns are because we're told to put little hats on newborns. But what you didn't know, what I didn't know, is that a bonnet is much more useful for them because we have a thermostat in our forehead. Now, what happens if you cover it with the, standard little hats? The thermostat is going to think, oh, we're warm enough, we don't need to, keep going. The bonnets, on the other hand, keep the forehead uncovered, which tells the thermostat to keep the furnace going. So just as the bonnet is wool and silk, her rompers, or her bodysuits, however you want to call it, are also wool and silk. Now, the silk, again, is like a natural barrier for them to not get overwhelmed unnecessarily and to calm their senses. But the wool is fantastic to keep you warm, but it's also breathable, so baby won't get overheated as much. So I also got her a pair of socks that, again, are wool. It might be wool silk, but it's at least wool because, again, it's breathable, but it will keep baby warm. And I also have this fantastic blanket. I actually got a second one. I had this one for Noel as well, but I didn't realize how essential it is. So I use this one for changing. I wrap her in it. Not right now, but normally I will have her wrapped in it because, again, it's this barrier, but it keeps her warm as well. The thing that I really learned from my postpartum doula, from Sabine, is how incredibly essential it is to keep baby warm. And it's not just important for newborns, it's important for the first 3 years of life, really. So I've gone back to this warmth care, is what we call in Dutch, with Noel as well, to help him relax and sleep better, and not just, you know, waste energy on keeping warm. And I've also started to apply it a little bit more to myself, got myself some woolen socks, because why would I waste energy on keeping warm when I can use that energy for other stuff, right? Now, she also had this fantastic rose oil that she recommended to me, and this is to ground the baby. It's to help baby feel welcome in this world, but obviously a baby has to land. They came from somewhere else. Yes, literally from your belly, but it's a completely different world, and they need to adapt here to the lights, to the scents, to the dry air, to cold, you know, all this kind of stuff. And rose oil has the potential of grounding you. So it's a fantastic way to massage baby with it, put it in their bath perhaps, but it's also really nice for mama in her postpartum care. Another thing that she recommended to me was an oil for the boobies, and this contained fennel. And I know that a lot of you will not be drinking fenugreek tea because we're told that it's dangerous. Honestly, I did drink it myself because I have a different opinion on it, but don't go by that. The general idea is that you shouldn't be drinking it. But then applying the oil to the boobies, that is absolutely fine, of course, right? So you can do that, and it was so wonderful, and it really helped calm the... I've completely lost the word. I don't even remember it in Dutch. But you know, when your milk starts to come in and your boobs are like big and sore, that's what it really helped with. But I think it also helped with getting the milk started, even though I was already nursing Noel. So with the tandem nursing, I came in a lot quicker anyway. And then one of the most wonderful things she did for me was a belly pack. You know, sometimes you do it with castor oil. Women that are trying to conceive, it is recommended a castor oil pack to support your fertility. But this was a chamomile pack, and it was amazing for my after pains, because my goodness, yes, with the second one it's a completely different story. With Noel it was okay. Yes, I did have after pains when the uterus is contracting again, right? But with her it was really intense, kind of like my labor pain, kind of like my contractions themselves were quite intense. This was also really intense, and the chamomile pack helped immensely. So what she did, she had a piece of silk, but you can use any kind of cloth, or you can use some wool, and she soaked it with chamomile oil, good quality, and then she covered it with a little bit of wool again, and then she covered it with a flannel wrap. Listen, you can use any kind of wrap. Recently my mom was really ill, and I gave her some thyme and some thyme oil, thyme and sage actually, and I thought, how am I going to do this? I don't have the right wrap. But I had a haramaki, and you might know this. It's a wrap that you can use for your kidneys, for example, to stay warm. But you can use anything that you can wrap around someone and just soak a piece of cloth with the oil and then just cover it, as long as somebody is warm. So that's what she did for me with the chamomile, but she had all the right stuff, of course. And I said I was going to share 10 things, and I don't remember if I just shared 10 things. I've written down 7 here, but I'm sure I have got 10 or more by now. So I guess I won't be putting in the title 10 things that my postpartum doula shared with me. I'll call it essential things. Essential things. I hope you found these tips helpful. Let me know in the comments if anything was new to you. It was all completely new to me. But I want to emphasize how essential it is to keep your newborn warm, so that they don't waste energy on that, so that they can grow. And listen, this girl, she has growing out of her seams. If you're preparing for your postpartum time, I'm wishing you all the best. Go check out my other videos that are related to this as well. You might find some information and some tips to help you prepare, and I'm wishing you all the best for the rest of your pregnancy, a wonderful labor, and a even more wonderful postpartum period. And in the meantime, See you in the next video. Bye.